Welcome everybody to the Brother Speak podcast. This is Brother Speak. If you're new to the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. Uh, now, I was listening to. Let me turn this down. Now, I was listening to the Faith Factors live stream the other day about compete for what, and it was a very interesting conversation. Um, Talking about black women competing for black men, and then you had they talk about Nia Jackson again, you know, and they were using that as the base of why black women shouldn't compete for black men attention. And then you had BMT go up there and compete with K saying, yeah, you still got to compete regardless. You you compete for your mate every day, and which I I have to agree, but I also agree with the women, Faith and AP from the Bronx, is that obsessing over it. You don't want to be obsessing over it, and I think that's where I think where people get it twisted. You still got to compete for your mate, either consciously or and unconsciously, because let's look at it. When you going out, you get you meet that woman, you meet that man, for a fact that somebody is going to be looking at it. I don't care how they look. I don't care, what how you feel, what position in life they are. If you looking at them, you can always assume somebody else is looking at them too. That's just that. That's the way it is. Any man that even approaches you as a woman, you gotta understand. If he ain't approaching you, he's probably approaching other women. And you a man, you approach a woman, you gotta understand there's probably about a bunch of men approached her already before you even walked up to her. It's nothing new. So you're gonna do things that make her seem like that is the choice, that you are the choice for her or him to be with. So it's nothing new about that. It's just people. Now I understand. Well, black men, and why would you compete for black men? Because again, you're gonna compete regardless. It's nothing new, and even subconsciously, unconsciously, you going to. I should have put subconsciously. Matter of fact, let me change that right quick. Yeah, there we go. Better. Yeah, better. But we're gonna compete subconsciously as well. I don't know why I'm saying unconsciously. Subconsciously, you're gonna compete as well because you know that if you're not doing what it takes to get him interested in you, somebody else is gonna get him. Like, hey, you might cook for him, you might clean for him, you might do, you know, wear a certain dress, get him sexually stimulated. And same with dudes, we get that nice haircut, get that nice car, take it to the nice fancy restaurant, probably take it to a movie that you don't want to look at if people pay you, but you do it for her. You take her to places that she might like. That's competing. And so when you compete, you get her or she gets him. But you think that, oh, it's over. Oh, I don't have to compete no more. No, you still got to compete. But there it becomes on a subconscious level because you know that if I'm not treating them right or I'm not treating her right, somebody's going to come in. And I said in the comment section of Faith's channel to AP for the Bronx when she was saying, like, well, men hit on us all the time. If we thought like the men, uh, we would be leaving. And I said, no, yes, it's harder for you to get to get for you to lead with a man because of the whole fact that you get hit on all the time. And you know that this dude probably ain't gonna go nowhere. And you gotta, if you with a man, he's the better deal. You already know that. He established himself as the better deal. But if he's not doing what he's supposed to do, if he's not still doing the same stuff that he did to get you, to keep you, adding stuff here and there, taking you out, buying you expensive gifts on Valentine's Day, maybe not on Valentine's Day, doing something special for your birthday, taking you on trips, writing you letters, kissing you softly once in a while, telling you he loves you, showing that he loves you, taking care of the bills, doing all those little things. If he's not doing that, yeah, the first time this dude hit on you, whatever. But the more he mistreats you, that leaves the door open. Now the guy who was flirting with you, well, you was just say with buzz telling to buzz off and stuff. Now you're entertaining it. Now you're speaking to him more. Now you telling him all your problems. You telling him how your man ain't treating you right, and that's his doorway in. You know how many women that I know at my job? I work, as everybody know, I'm a correctional officer. Do you know how many correctional officers got caught up with inmates? Female correctional officers. And these ain't no just single chicks that ain't got nobody. They got whole husbands. Some of them work in the prison. Some of them work at the same prison that she working at, that she messing with an inmate. I'll tell you one story. We had a sergeant, Hispanic sergeant. We all knew him, cool dude. His wife was working in law library. She an inmate came in. They were talking. And for months they were talking. He going in for his legal stuff. Then one day they caught them doing some questionable things. Yeah. So again, her husband working at the prison as a sergeant, and she up there messing with an inmate. Now you may say that's extreme. No, that happens a lot. And this ain't just with inmates. Let me be clear. You know these things called work husband, work wives? That's a real thing, because if you are spending more time with your at work than you do at home, guess what? A lot of people develop work husband, work wife relationships. And that's all stem from your your significant other ain't doing you're not spending enough time with your significant other, and the time that you do spend, you're not really doing much of anything. You're not doing anything to cultivate the relationship, keep keep them interested. So guess what? If they hang with the coworker more, that's how those relationships begin. So when you say we shouldn't have to compete, you competing every day. Now again, I know Danae is an extreme case, but again, Danae was a groupie. She was a groupie for Derek Jackson, who just happened to get married to our idol. That's extreme. It's just no different than all these women basically naked to go see their favorite rapper or R&B singer, throwing panties on the fucking stage, um, getting on the bus and busting it wide open for them, trying to get in the VIP. That's what Danae was. She was a groupie. Nobody's saying compete like that. Those are extreme cases, and usually those people who are doing that, they got mental issues. She had one. Nobody's saying do all that kind of crazy stuff, but just like, and the same with men. Like, we understand if we ain't treating our woman right, guess what? She gonna go. That wall that she's been having will break down, and eventually she gonna go. Just like I say, men cheat, women cheat, and again, when you in 2022, nobody respects relationships no more like that. Really, no, it's open season. And should they? If we were in a moral world, back in the day, yeah, people respected it. They didn't put that shit out in the public like that. Now it's just blatant. They telling you, yeah, I'll take your man. Yeah, I'll take your woman. They blatantly telling you that. And they will go after your husband or your wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend. They don't give a fuck. So yeah, you do have to be competing. You still competing with your mate because guess what? Especially for men, because again, a lot of us don't get hit on by women all the time. Some of us don't even know when the last time we get hit on by women. I can't remember the last time I got hit on by a woman. I can't. I'm gonna be honest with you. It just don't happen for us like that. So when it happens, we're not prepared for it. The only time men who are prepared for it are guys who are very good looking and they understand what the deal is. They understand this woman that she's just for sex. But a lot of guys are not used to that. So when they get a girlfriend or they get a wife, especially when you get a wife, it's just like all of a sudden everybody want to get on. All these women want to hit on you all of a sudden. And if you're not used to it, if you're not really, really strong willed, yeah, that can affect you. Not making excuses. It's just that's just what it is. And on top of that, if your wife, girlfriend ain't doing what she did to get you, well, guess what? He gonna go. So it's a combination. You do need to compete for whoever. And then I was listening to Fade and the AP part. Well, that's why we should date out. Okay, but the problem is now you got a bigger competition than you had just going at the black men because now you're dealing with white men, white men, Asian men, and they don't date out as much as you say black men do. And even when they do date out, most times they're not going at the black women. I mean that let's keep it a buck. Black women ain't the first choice. This ain't the diss black women. I'm just telling you that's what it is. Same with us. Like now, sexually, we're the first choice, but when we're talking about relationships, no, we ain't the first choice. We we a lot of times for fun, but we're not for serious. So again, we still got to compete for each other and other races of people. The only difference because in the past we didn't have that access, especially when you're talking about white people. We didn't have that access like that because white people weren't fucking with us like that. You're a black man, you can get you know unalive for messing with a white chick. Now, black women not so much, but the white dudes weren't marrying you like that either. I mean, just it was what it was. And even if you get with the white dude, you still got to contend with that white family. And if he ain't independent, that relationship is going on. There were a lot of black women who were side pieces, mistresses, and all kinds of stuff. They wasn't the main chick. Now that's a little different now, because again, the it's wide open. But even with that, you're still not the top choice. Just like we as black men, not the top choice for relationships. It's just the way it is. So consciously and subconsciously, you're still competing because you understand that if you're not treating your man right, and you're not doing what you did to get him, you're not doing what you did to get him to keep him. Yeah, he's gonna falter. Same with the men. If you're not doing what you need to do to keep the woman, guess what? She gonna go. I mean, it's and people don't have the respect for relationships that we did back in the past. Back in the past, we did it on the low. We didn't like blatantly just come up to it. It just we hit on people on the low. Now it's just blatantly open. People just saying, "I'll take your man, I'll take your woman." All like just crazy shit. No loyalty at all. And I know some people say, "Well, should they? They shouldn't. They didn't make a covenant." Okay, I get that, and I agree with you. They didn't make a covenant, but guess what? You're gonna be in that same position with your man and your woman, and somebody gonna come to your man. Are you gonna cry about it then? Now keep that same energy. My thing is keep the same energy. If you feel that woman don't owe you any respect for your relationship, okay, well keep that same energy when it happens to you. Just keep the same energy. Same with men. I'm like, keep the same energy. At least with men, we understand that hey, any dude come get you. But with the women, it's like, oh no, it's the man. If the man respects the relationship, then the woman won't. Bullshit. I don't know where y'all thought that shit. I don't know where y'all thought that. These women can literally see the man taking care of his wife, taking care of his kids, taking her home, kissing her, all kinds of stuff, and they will still try because they don't respect relationships like that, especially not anymore. They'll still try them. They don't care. Now, it's the man not to partake, but don't get it twisted. These women do not care. They will get that. These women will go after the man regardless. They don't give a fuck. They don't care if he respect their relationship or not. They don't care if he faithful or not. If they see him, they want him, they gonna get him. That's just how it is. Now, how much his resistance towards that is a lot of times is dependent on the woman. And the same with the men. It's like how much resistance that she gonna have towards dudes going hitting on her and she's entertaining it depends on how you treat the woman. Which means again you have to compete. It's just like when BMT said, "Okay, you win the championship." That don't mean you got to rest. Oh, we tired. No, you're not retired. Then you get complacent, and complacency is a lot of times why men and women step out because people get complacent. They think, "Oh, I got them now. Now I ain't got to do shit." Nope. Still got to. You still got to show them why they got with you in the first place. That's just how that is. You think I wasn't doing that? Now, like I said before, like you don't like be obsessed with it. I think that's where where I think the women are coming at it. Oh, I shouldn't be obsessed with it. No, you don't be obsessed with it. Because when you get obsessed with it, that's when the stalking comes into play. That's when you're calling every 5 minutes. That's when you come. When you home? You a minute late. You walk in the door. She's screaming at you. Why are you a minute late? That's because you obsessing over it. You don't need to obsess over it. You just do what you did to keep them, and add a little spice to it, just like I did when I was married. Add a little spice here. I took my wife on trips. I come home and massage her. We will massage each other. I mean, I came on one day, she massaging me. I'm cooking food for her. I'm running her bathroom. We getting in the shower together. We. I mean, we were just doing so many different things to keep our relationship together. Now, like I said, it fell apart because a lot of issues. But the fact of it is, if you're not doing what you need to do to make them feel appreciated, that's on men and women, you're opening the door. That means, again, you have to consciously be aware of that. That means you're constantly competing. But that doesn't mean go to extremes. That doesn't mean you have to obsess over it. You just have to do what you normally would do. You know what you need to do to keep them interested and keep them satisfied. That's all you just need to do. Don't think you're having it bad. And that's for men and women. Don't think you're having it bad just because you got them. Actually, that's the easier part. The harder part is maintaining it over years and years and years. Because I think Kamina K said now the business side comes into play. You gotta take care of her bills. You gotta take care. You gotta help him with his bills. You got to cook and clean. You gotta deal with his mental issues. You gotta deal with he coming home at a bad day of work, or she coming in home from a bad day of work. You gotta deal with her mental issues. You gotta deal with his mental issues. Nobody comes into a relationship completely whole, especially if if you're dealing with people older age, like in 30s and 40s. In this dating market, people went through some shit. People went, and then you, not to mention childhood trauma, because a lot of our parents were not in healthy relationships. Some of our parents, we were oops babies. For some, we were latchkey kids. Some of them didn't have a good relationship with their fathers. Some of them didn't have a good relationship with their moms. And if you don't have the good relationship with, if you as a man or a woman don't have a good relationship with the opposite gender parent, that's going to affect how you treat the opposite gender. Well, men set the tone. No, 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 no. Nope. I'm sorry. Sorry, ladies. I hate to tell you that. Nope. It does not depend on the men how they treat the women. It depends on the women how they treat their sons. And just like women have no control on how a woman see another man, that is on the father. Well, the father's the head of the family. Yeah, that's true. But guess what? The mothers can undermine his authority. That has happened too. So again, you can't when people try to run from their responsibilities of how they, especially when you're talking about children, you can't run from that. How you treat the children is how they're gonna remember you. They ain't got nothing to do with the other parent. And so with that, you have people who have these issues coming in, and you don't know that what's coming on. So again, you got to deal with that. She might have some school loan debt. That's something you got. You now is your debt as a man, or vice versa. That man have child support payments. Now that's your debt that's coming out of the household. I mean, it's so much different stuff that goes on where that could affect how you treat your mate. And again, I'm not even talking about cheating yet. That's just the icing on the cake. I'm talking about just everyday interactions that could be affected by outside influences. And if you let those influences stop you from treating your man or your woman right, guess what? They're gonna end up moving around. So even and you still that means you still gotta compete. But you're not even competing with other people at that point. You're competing with your actual mate because their mental issues, their problems. You got to compete with that and make sure they're loved and respected and cherished and appreciated and admired. All those different things you got to do. And if you feel like you don't have to do that, you're gonna be in for a rude awakening. If you not got your money right, which is the number one reason why people break up, ain't even for infidelity. It's because of money. Your money ain't right. Guess what? Now you can't take her on those trips. You can't go on those dates. Now you're working 50, 60 hours and you're not even staying together. That's one of the reasons why there was a lot of divorces, domestic violence when the pandemic hit, because there were a lot of people who were living separate lives and they come together. But when they would stop not able to work, now they got to spend time with each other, and they find out they really didn't like each other like that. They never connected. They never still did what they needed to do to keep their person satisfied. And now they were just dealing with separate people. So again, yeah, you got to compete. Still compete for your mate. But again, it's not to be stressing over. I think that's the big thing is don't stress over it. Just do what you normally do. And if it ain't, don't do extremes. Don't be up there literally looking at this dude making porno films on his fucking phone and then trying to be the chick in the fucking film. Like, don't do that crazy shit. Don't be looking at porno and thinking you gotta be fuck like the male porn star just to keep your woman satisfied. Or you doing all kinds of crazy shit. Don't be doing that shit. That's crazy. Just don't obsess over it. And that's the most important thing. Because if you're obsessing over it, yeah, you're going to end up doing all kinds of crazy shit. Now you on YouTube with a bonnet on, trying to pretend to have this front that you're gonna battle for your man, or you're gonna be out here wanting to fight every dude because your woman's up there talking to everybody. And I mean, listen, yeah. At the end of the day, you compete for your mate consciously and subconsciously. You compete with them consciously with other people, and then subconsciously, because you understand that to keep them, you have to treat them well. And again, it's not just other people you have to compete with. You also got to compete with your mate, their mental issues, their stress. They, there's so much things you got to compete with for your mate that if you're not doing that, guess what? The relationship gonna be over. So, to black men in particular, just understand that there's a lot of women that come in with a lot of stressors, a lot of mental issues that they're dealing with, and you hopefully that whatever mental issues that they do have, they're getting proper help. If they not, don't deal with them. They coming in with debt, student loan debt, credit card debt, all kinds of debts that you're gonna have to take on if you expecting to be married. And even if you don't get married, you still got to deal with a lot of mental issues that could come from that. Be prepared for that. And whatever you want, whatever you plan to do, if you're gonna be single, married, children, just be prepared for that. And understand that you still gotta compete for your mate for in the front end and also in the back end. And you'll do it, either you consciously make an effort or you're gonna subconsciously do it because you care. If you didn't care, then you wouldn't have brought it into your situation. But don't obsess over it. Don't obsess over the competing. Don't be stalking. Don't be calling her 24/7. Don't be questioning everything she do. You don't have to do all that. Just do what you're supposed to do to make sure she's satisfied. And even then, you may not you may not be able to keep her, and that's fine. At the end of the day, do what you're supposed to do for yourself. And if she's a benefit to you, then you keep her. If she ain't, let her go. You don't have to compete for somebody who don't want you. You only compete for those that want you. That's it. Anyway, I'm about to get out of here. And if you are listening to the replay of this, please like the stream, subscribe to the channel. And with that, black men, be powerful or be powerless. The choice is yours. I'm out.